Any ideas, Herschel?
None that I care to utter for public consumption.
I'm Fred Nicholson.
This is your place?
What's left of it? 32 years of work up in smoke.
Can you tell us what happened here?
Our chief chemist, Harold McClellan, was using this area to test the new process.
And what exactly is this new process?
That's classified information, son.
A lot of people died here, Mr. Nicholson. I'm prepared to go to the press and tell them it was your fault. What is the new process?
A way to chemically polish aluminum. It's traditionally done by hand. It's extremely labor-intensive. The process could be worth millions.
Akamoto.
Dr. McClellan's personal assistant. She came highly recommended.
By whom?
By Dr. McClellan. He insisted I hire her. But I know what you're going to say. But you don't look a gift horse in the mouth, do you?
What can you tell us about McClellan?
A brilliant chemist. He approached me a few months ago with the idea for the new process.
So no one has ever done this before?
No, but it's legitimate research.
Does McClellan have any friends in town, Mr. Nicholson family, that we could talk to?
Well, he hadn't been in town long when we met, so no family. I don't think he had time for friends. He kept to his lab and his work.
We'll be in touch, Mr. Nicholson. Can you send us Dr. McClellan and Miss Akamoto's personnel files?
I will if I can find them.
You think McClellan went up in smoke? Or is he still alive?
You could ask the same question about Tomoko Akamoto.
I guess you could. You got an answer?
Not yet, but I'm working on it.
Any Sentry unit, 211 in progress, 522 South Hill Street.
George is en route to 496 Broadway. You have another assignment here, Central? Units in the vicinity.
Well, well. Why the cloak and dagger routine, Miss Akamoto?
Somebody turned the place over. Better watch your step.
You know what this is, Biggs?
Sure. That apartment gives you one of those when you retire.
Doesn't look like anything.
Looks like we have a match.
Interesting dame, this Sakamoto. What is it exactly?
Microfilm. A document shrunk to the size of your thumbnail.
Broad must have amazing eyesight. You think I could fit in there? I couldn't fit in there.
I'd like to think you would have had something more to say about getting shoved in a fridge, Herschel. One to the head, one to the heart. Point blank. On Jeans Lindbergh. Very expensive watch. Favored by flyboys. I always wanted one as a kid.
That's funny. As a kid, all I wanted was some food on the table.
Could be a class ring.
Biggs, Edge 525. I'll need a couple of black and whites at 133 North Vermont Avenue, Wilshire. We'll need an ambulance in the corner. Probably a team from technical services as well.
Detective Phelps, badge 1247, messages please.
You need to call Ray Pinker urgently.
Can you put me through?
It's ringing now.
We're on our way in.
Nix that. I got a message from Lindbergh Field. An airplane tech there identified your part.
What is it?
He said it was a prop spinner from either a Corsair or a B-50.
A what?
Fits over the center of the propeller and protects the pitch gearing.
So it's a military part.
Could be, but get this. The Spruce Goose runs 8 Wasp R-4360s. I think you better get over there and check it out.
We're on it.
Continue to respond.
This is a military project, gentlemen. Can you state your business?
Detectives, Phelps and Biggs, LAPD. We're investigating the explosion. We have reason to believe there may be a link to Hughes' aircraft.
I'm sorry, I can't help you there, Detective. Without authorization from military HQ, you won't be allowed onto this facility.
What seems to be the problem, gentlemen? Hey, Biggs. You're not still with the LAPD.
Right so, mates. Can you help us out here?
Sure. What seems to be the problem?
We're working the big explosion at the electroplating plant. I found a part there that belongs to one of your planes.
I work head of security for Mr. Hughes now. I'll take full responsibility. I'm sure we can clear this up. Follow me.
Who is Mapes, and what's his connection to Howard Hughes?
Vernon Mapes used to work Advice. Word is he runs fuck pads for Hughes' starlets.
A pimp.
Come on.
Earl and Mapes would...
Follow me.
Good day, miss. Can that thing really fly?
Mr. Hughes believes so. Amazing, isn't she?
So, this is the Spruce Goose.
Jesus Christ, Biggs, you want to get me fired? Mr. Hughes hates that fucking name. It's the H4 Hercules to you.
You mind answering a few questions, Mr. Mapes?
Call me Vernon, kid. Fire away. You need a drink or something, Detective?
Do you know anything about the explosion that happened at Nicholson Electroplating this morning?
No more than anyone else. Heard the boom while I was shaving. Almost shit my pants. Thought it was Pearl all over again.
But you have heard of the company?
Sure. We're in manufacturing. We work with suppliers.
Do you know Tomoko Akamoto?
Never heard of the broad. Why?
Well, at the moment, both Akamoto and McClellan are missing. Do you still carry a gun?
Sure. I have a permit.
Do you know the chief chemist at Nicholson Electroplating, a Harold McClellan?
I've heard of the guy. He was pitching some fancy process to the company.
And were you interested?
The slide rules and lab coats are always interesting. If he could get it to work.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Mapes. Do you mind if we have a look around while we're here?
Sure. Knock yourself out.
You want to take a look inside her? Can't hurt.
Not sure this means much. Circumstantial. Maybe if... No.
That is Marie the Body McDonald.
Does Hughes have her on contract to RKO?
Yeah, I bet he does.
McClellan's process was going to replace all this.
Great.
Latitude 24 degrees, 15 minutes north. Longitude 76 degrees, 0 minutes west. .76 degrees west. 24 degrees, 15 minutes north. 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 .76 degrees. Let's see where this is exactly. The Bahamas. Somebody's already got their maiden flight planned.
low to these engines. You think that cone could have come off one of them?
Is that a Pratt & Whitney 4360?
Sure is. You know your motors.
Do you mind if I take a look at the prop spinner?
We're getting her ready for sea trials, so be quick about it.
What is the oily covering on the metal?
We coat the aluminum parts in linseed oil to preserve it from oxidization.
Let's see what Pinker has for us. He's probably done tinkering with that camera by now.
Thanks for the tour, Mapes.
Always happy to help the department. Hey, don't I know your face from the papers? You're the cop that's stripping that German broad.
Nah, I think you got the wrong guy, Vernon.
So McClellan was selling his new process to Hughes and cutting out Nicholson.
Looks that way. But this would never go all the way up to Hughes. He would have middlemen dealing with stuff like this.
Someone like Mapes?
The word middleman was invented for guys like Mapes. Must be a tough break being separated from your kids, Phelps.
They're fine. They've got their mother and they've got each other.
What about you?
What about me?
What have you got?
A friend of mine is helping me through it.
Sentry in a 211 in progress, 522 South Hill Street, unit to handle code 3, identify.
Now that I got you, I may as well ask you.
Ask me what?
The Black Dahlia. Who was it that killed that poor girl?
No official charges have been pressed in the case.
I know that. I'm not looking for the official version.
I made a promise to the department.
These are the guys who sold you down the river. Damn you!
KGPL to any central unit. Ambulance shooting. Any central unit. Identify.
I was kind of attached to the paint job, Cole.
I've been in this job 20 years. I never saw it.
Whatever kind of look you were going for, you missed.
Evidence.
Say, could I borrow some of that
Are you
mascara?
drunk, mister? Or are you just cracked?
He's the cop that arrested that movie producer.
You think the Vice boys get any on the side?
That bum took a swipe at me, put him down in my sack.
Well, this day was a total waste.
Hey, Cole. You're not winning any popularity contests upstairs, you know.
Where do you stand?
I think you're a good cop, but I try and stay out of politics.
Everybody tries to stay out of politics, Ray.
Well, don't quote me on it, but I'm hoping that Parker will get the job and clean this place up. I have your photographs. You can use the magnifier. There's quite a lot of detail.
Very funny.
I think you're right, Ray. We have our man. You take a nice photo, Phelps.
Mouthpiece tore strips off me at the grand jury. Case was thrown out. Now the DA wants my head.
Bringing the Watcher a match for our John Doe. He's obviously the competitive bid. Can you get this over to Lockheed so we can get a name for this guy?
It's already on its way.
Howard Hughes, millionaire, industrialist, aviator, and playboy. And Vernon Mapes, ex-dirty cop and business fixer. I found a similar tie pin along with a dead guy in a fridge. Excellent photography, Tomoko. So Tomoko had the goods on McClellan. Too bad they blew the place to hell. Is this McClellan? Can anyone make out the street number behind him?
Are you kidding? With my eyesight?
Cole, can you help me with a little experiment? Use the eyedropper in front of you. One drop from each of the bottles on the desk. Place the drops in the Petri dish.
I say we bust in there and find the goddamn evidence.
It's okay, guys. Just a little experiment.
Can you guys knock it off? Everyone's still jumpy from that bang this morning.
Very funny, Ray. You just took a couple years off my life expectancy.
Did the same trick to me about an hour ago.
So that was the stuff that caused the explosion.
I think so. Acetic anhydride is almost as explosive as nitro, and when mixed with perchloric acid, it's very unstable. It needs to be cooled constantly. We used linseed oil. You could add any organic compound to trigger an explosion.
3 little drops.
Yeah, and they were using a 100-gallon vat.
That bum took a swipe at me, so I put him down in my sap.
That's him. That's the best we can do for policemen.
Citizen reports a 459 there now at 38 North Catalina. Unit to handle code 2 identified. 1638.
Stinks of petroleum.
Avgas, if I'm not mistaken. It's all around the floor. Hangstrom and McClellan are the same man. Hangstrom is flying today on TWA.
Hangstrom is dead, Cole. Why leave your ticket behind?
Mapes is cleaning up.
The gas, Cole, the gas! We gotta get out of here right now! Look, by the stove! Shoot the gas line, Cole, we're out of here! There you are, shitheel. Come on, he's not getting away from us. It's no good! We need to get closer! Security men, Cole. Stay on Mapes. Knock them off the road if you have to, but stay on that fucker. Don't leave me hanging out here, Phelps. Move in. I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck. We're gonna have to go through all the security men first. I hope you're ready for a fight,
Aim
Cole.
at the tires!
Kill a cop, and it's the electric chair. Find some cover!
Slug and then over here. Give it up, John.
Stay in cover!
Give me some cover.
out the guns. Get in cover!
He wants to play cat and mouse? Fine. Let's go and get his ass.
Really hurts.
Get in cover, now! Stay down. Empty. It will have to be the 45.
Lay down some cover and
Find some cover!
How about the door, asshole? You're pretty brave for a dead man. Fucking
Worse than a war zone.
I'm covering you! You're fucking toast! I got you.
Too far for it.
Worse than a war zone.
Throw out the...
I'm gonna find you. You're covered.
you're gonna have to explain this to me again. So the guy at the chemical plant, he's planning on selling his magic formula to another company and skipping town with his assistant, but he blows himself up before he can manage it. So why the dead body in the refrigerator?
Mapes, Captain. He was eliminating all competitors for the process. When it went bang, he burnt down the apartment to remove all connection between Hughes and the plant.
Mapes, right. I remember Vernon Mapes. The guy had good, honest cops hanging their heads in shame. Glad he's finally out of commission. I don't know if it'll do you any good, Phelps, but between the spruce goose and half the city exploding, you might just have made the case of the decade.
Good morning, Doctor.
And a good morning to you too, Elsa. You look radiant.
Thank you, Doctor.
We haven't been seeing much of you lately, Elsa. You've been missing appointments.
I'm sorry, Doctor. I've been feeling much better.
That's very good to hear. And what has brought about this improvement?
It's the new man in my life. He's convinced me to fight my addiction.
Ah, the policeman from the newspapers. How has he coped with his fall from grace?
He can finally see things from a human perspective, rather than the ivory tower he created for himself. It's making him stronger. And it's making me stronger helping him.
You wouldn't make a bad analyst yourself, Elsa. Should we swap seats?
We're both finding we have a lot to live up to.
And what is that?
In my case, Lou. He went through hell along with me and still came out smiling. In Cole's case, his friend, Jack Kelso.
Kelso?
You've heard of him?
No, I just like the sound of his name.
Cole and Jack are working on a case together.
Is Jack a policeman too?
No, he works for the district attorney.
What?
He's a special investigator. I thought you didn't know him.
I have never met the gentleman in question.
He has been looking into Lou's case. Cole thinks it might be linked to some fires he's investigating. You look pale, Doctor.
It's cold in here, Elsa. I think I'll close the window. Why are you looking at me like that, Elsa?
You arranged for Lou to work at Elysian Fields, Doctor.
Your fears are unfounded. I meet many people in my line of work. There are many ways that people can be helped. Finding them work is just one of them.
I don't believe you, Doctor. I've seen you with Monroe at the club.
I'm sorry that you have come to that conclusion, Elsa. I've always so enjoyed our conversation. I can see your future, Elsa. And Cole, the policeman. And Jack, the investigator. It's an unfortunate and grisly end.
I've come to help you, Doctor. To help you cross over. All your sins will be forgiven in the next life.